And we're live. Welcome to Earful of Dirt, the Major League Rugby podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Aaron Castro. And I've got this week, Victor, Dan Brown, and NYC, man. Those two guys. Josh in Denver. And then somebody come back from, death. Corey, you there? You alive?
I guess not.
Yeah, I made it. I made it out of the hospital. They released me from the psych ward finally. I actually got to say it was a nice vacation. The room was very comfortable. It was padded on all four sides, plus the floor and the ceiling. There's nothing like a good mental breakdown just to give you a couple days off.
Wow. What's crazy is that you look that crazy right now.
What are you talking about, man? I have no idea what's going on there.
All right. Well, glad to have the producer back. He wasn't crazy. It was more or less, I guess it was the death flu part 2. But
yeah, something like that, or something I ate. I don't know, man. It was not a fun day though.
How's everyone else's week been?
Awesome. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
You were like testing something at work, Josh?
Yeah.
We don't talk about
I'm just going to leave it at that.
We don't talk about that.
All right.
No, because it's still fucked up.
Testing the boundaries of decency.
Uh-oh. Well, right. I hope the test went well. I don't know what the test was, but find out next week.
Maybe a couple months.
All right. Well, I was just in Miami, which if you look closely, you might be able to see these raccoon eyes I got because I fell asleep with sunglasses on.
You're supposed to get the tanning sunglasses that just go over your eye. Oh,
yeah. Like the little goggles?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, then I just have burns all around my face and then nothing right here. I ran out of sunscreen because I was applying way too much because I'm really white. Kind of backfired. But yeah.
Because it doesn't work with your paramour who happens to be olive in the winter.
What?
Olive skinned?
Oh yeah, no, I knew that part. Nothing.
Your paramour, your girlfriend of long time, your lover.
Yeah. Or however you want to call it. Yeah. I actually never even heard someone use paramour before outside of the actual band. So there we go. Victor, you did something exciting this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Changing topics really quickly.
Yeah, that's right, guys. I'll tell you my report about what happened down in Gaelic Park in the Bronx, Rugby United New York.
It's not Gaelic Park.
It's Garlic Park.
Garlic. Garlic Park. Let's go with that.
It's Garlic Park. Yeah. As henceforth be known.
Garlic Park. It's Garlic Park. Well, we're definitely gonna talk a lot more about that later. But Aaron, why don't you tell everyone at home who we are if they haven't any clue who we are for some reason?
For those new to the podcast, each Monday we discuss news and rumors from Major League Rugby. It's the United States Professional Rugby Union competition. It's a chance for us to come together, discuss the issues, hear from the league, team leadership, check in with all of you, our friends across the U.S. rugby season. So this week, what do we got?
Well, this week we got 3, or I guess technically 2 MLR matches. Only one of them was recorded, so we got to watch that. But one of them we actually had a certain someone here who was at the match. So the San Diego Legion traveled to Austin. NOLA Gold hosted a rematch against Houston, which was recorded on Gift Time. And then there was also the Battle of the Bronx, which took place, like we said, at Garlic Park. So with that said, let's jump on first to the Austin match. This one wasn't recorded, as I said, but Aaron, you have a couple of notes you wanted to go over here.
Well, I mean, we have a bunch of friends from the show who were there, so I've sort of compiled notes. My in-laws went.
Oh, that's nice.
That was kind of cool.
That is nice.
That was their first 15s rugby match. Brooke's mom was happy about that. So,
what other notes on the match?
Well, so early on, it was noticed that the Austin had, a very dominant scrum, and they will have a, very strong scrum throughout the season.
This is not what your in-laws said, though, right?
Oh no, the in-law. What was it? There was some objectification of the rugby club. They thought the mascot was cool, and they liked the action when it happened right in front of them. Was the
who's the mascot for Austin?
There's like a Minotaur thing.
I will say that Austin's mascot is the best so far.
I haven't seen pictures of that yet.
Yeah, and the name. What's the name of it?
They didn't say.
Need to ask, I guess.
Mino the Minotaur.
I'm just waiting for Aaron's question. Hey Frenchie, what's the name of your mascot?
I mean, I know he listens, so maybe he'll either tell us tonight or he'll tell us tomorrow. But yeah. So even though their pack was missing Peter Malcolm and Patty Ryan, they were pretty good. Like they dominated the San Diego scrum, and rightfully so. Like a lot of these guys are, all Americans with like Mason Pedersen, and then Tim Fitzgerald grew up playing rugby in Australia, and now he's U.S. eligible, the Austin Loosehead. So he'll be really good to look at to provide depth for the Eagles Loosehead pool. Patty Ryan is coming back from surgery. Should be good to go, I think, the third week of the season. And then Peter Malcolm, I think, might be resting from a slight injury from the ARC. Not sure. That's just a guess. The ref didn't really officiate the scrum well, to the point where the young tight head for San Diego was having some issues. So, I mean, overall, I don't know. I'll have some questions to ping back on that one later with the teams. And then, for both teams, there's a lot of handling errors. And, it was all about getting the backs the ball when you were on offense and in opposition territory. And we saw that early on. After, the Legion was able to gain a penalty, tag leader. Apparently, some of the reports are freaking true. His boot is dangerous. He can hit it from pretty much anywhere on the pitch. I think it was I might be wrong. I think it was about a 40-meter penalty kick. And that was at 2 minutes into the match. But there ends up being a lot of – wait, no. I'm wrong. Yeah, 2 minutes into the match. And there ends up being a lot more handling errors. However, Pat Blair is able to go in for the try, and the conversion wasn't really nice of an angle for him, but he crushed it. Then, the way it was going, you didn't really see how the flow was, but the elite were able to take advantage of some things, and Mason Pedersen goes in for his first try at 16 minutes, and Timothy Gulliman wasn't able to convert that, so it was at 10-5 after 16 minutes. And then, at 29 minutes, Cam Dolan, a guy who was put in at lock, normally plays 8 for the Eagles and played 8 for Cardiff. The first time I've seen him play lock was with Old Blue back in the fall. And, he just rumbled in that try at 29 minutes, and tag leader was able to convert that. Tag leader didn't convert there, but at 39 minutes, he would score a penalty, putting the Legion up 18-5.
Yeah, that's really not surprising to see Cam score. I'm expecting him to score quite a lot coming up, especially in a game like this. If everyone's playing sloppy, he just came after 5 weeks on the ARC. He's definitely warmed up by now. But going into the second half, we had the 41st minute, Mason Peterson came in with a try, and Guillemine. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Guillemin? I need to ask.
Timothy.
That's one I know.
Timothy Guillemot.
Guillemot.
Oh,
He is French, though,
Guillemot.
right?
I should know that. I'm a freaking idiot. Guillemot. Yeah.
You are an idiot. So Guillemot, he converted. I feel like if you ever try and say a French name, and you say it properly, you automatically have a French accent. I don't know why. It's not the same with many other languages, but specifically French. I don't know. That's just me. So Guillemot, he converted. So there were some handling errors, as you said. But then Dion Menard, whatever, he scored a try and another conversion by Guillemot. So then 59th minute, we had Anthony Saliber for San Diego scored a try. Leader had another conversion. 62 minutes, we had Pat Blair with a try, and then Leader converted again. 77th minute, Pat Sullivan scored for Austin, which led up with the final score of 32-25. San Diego coming away with a win here. A bit surprising, at least to me. I'm not sure if everyone else was surprised too. I thought Austin, considering the fact that they played together for longer, would have won. I know San Diego signed a lot of great names over the past couple months, but I didn't really see anyone or any forwards on the team really.
So their back three is all brand new for Austin, and for the most part, this back line together, like they've only been together 3 months. Oh, and to play at this level, and a different offense, because we're talking about how Austin and even the guys that are in from the Blacks, like there is that chemistry. They do know each other. They've played, similar systems. Is like this system is different than what they were playing. Austin was playing out of a 1-3-3-1 base offense with Laffy, and this offense is the 1-3-2-2, which is a bit different. It's a hybrid of the 1-3-3-1 and the 2-4-2, and it's more of a set, and you don't really shift a lot between the two systems like a team like NOLA is using two systems, which is the 1-3-3-1 and 2-4-2. So there's going to be handling errors because it's supposed to be more, I would call it your spread offense of rugby right now.
Okay, guys, so jumping in real quick, I agree with Dan. I was actually quite surprised for the score. I was expecting the Legion to put a good fight, but that the Elite were going to win because, again, they had more time together. But yeah, that is true that the back line hasn't played a lot of time together, and this is really the first game. I don't think they even played scrimmages, or maybe they did. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But in any case, now Austin, again with that 32-25 loss with the Legion, now have to go down to New Orleans, play the Gold in a home away series, and then later the Legion play
Houston.
Thank you, Houston Sabercats, specifically on the 7th. So we'll see how that goes.
That should be, at least for Houston, that should be the last preseason match. It definitely is for Houston, but it may be the last for...
I think that's the last for everybody.
They were only, Utah plays a preseason match the opening weekend.
All right.
The opening weekend they play one?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They play a preseason match the opening weekend.
That is kind of weird.
Hey, guys. I just want to jump in and, hey, voice from heaven. And that's why they locked me up. Can we just take a second and appreciate the fact that we are less than a month from Major League Rugby? I mean, like, less than a month from this thing actually happening. I can't tell if you, I'm literally glowing right now.
Yeah, you are actually.
Watch the video to see this.
Pretty awesome. And we'll talk about, I guess, some docs that came out today that had one logo and then it had another logo. That was kind of cool to see. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's happening. It's really happening.
We've been grinding for wow, how long has it been? So August. So it's been 8 months. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's real.
It was 8 months ago when we took that first introduction podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting behind a dumpster because I was
waiting for the sirens to come.
I was sitting there because I was outside behind a brewery. A dumpster just happened to be there. I wasn't purposely hiding.
That's right.
I thought it was on the roof. There was a dumpster there?
No, it wasn't the roof. There's just brick wall behind me.
Yeah, I remember that too.
It was Big Alice Brewing, I think, which is in Queens, and there just happened to be like a little courtyard with bricks all around it, and I just found a corner near the loading dock, so it kind of looked like it was the roof, and it was right in front of a dumpster too. I don't think there was garbage in front of it. I think it was just like building materials, but it felt kind of weird. Talking on my phone for a half hour there, everyone was staring at me. Oh, well.
There you go.
Real setup now.
We didn't even know who Josh was.
Yeah, at the time, that's true.
Okay, so I derailed this pretty successfully. Why don't we get back to it? Sorry about that, guys. I just had to jump in and
go back to your hole.
Yeah. See
ya. I mean, so San Diego played a different style. I would say very wide open, and you look at their coaching staff, very seven centric. So they played something different. I want to see it on tape to understand what was being explained to me on the phone today, because I have no idea. Like I can't imagine a style of 15s that looks like sevens, if that makes sense.
You just keep all the forwards on one side of the field.
Yeah, it's distracting that way. I mean, it makes perfect sense because almost every player for San Diego and all the coaches are sevens players and coaches. Like the forwards coach was a sevens player, which I think might be a little concerning.
Well, I think that did Austin attempt any penalty kicks at all? Do you know, Aaron?
Yeah, Guillemon missed one.
So, and then Todd did how many? Attempted how many?
Shit. Tig made two.
Made two. See, I mean, you figured he could have gone for more, but I guess they were going for tries. But it seems like the sevens game specializes more in ball security, I guess you could say. And so by playing that sevens game, they were emphasizing ball security.
I gotcha.
From what you said, that there may have been a lot of mistakes. Maybe the goal was to play and emphasize ball security, but there maybe not have been for this match.
It was, I mean, from what I understand, it was pretty ugly. Ball handling in general was not the forte of anyone. It was more or less, we got lucky here, we got lucky there, and they ended up scoring 7 more points. I don't know. Everything I've heard about, because I've talked to 4 people now about the scrum from Austin, it was dominant to the point. I wouldn't say that people were impressed because they weren't sure what they were seeing from San Diego.
They also were missing 2 of their starting forwards.
Yeah.
And Malcolm and Ryan.
Yeah.
So that obviously affects it.
Okay, so out of everyone you've seen, who would you compare it to then?
With the way the forwards are set up, I would say Austin's scrum is probably closer to Houston's. Backline, I got nothing until I see it on tape. They've got talent, but I would say based on the makeups of both squads, I think they're going to – I know offensively they're going to play similar. They're both playing out of a 1-3-2-2. So – it emphasizes like a dominant scrum, and then in open set piece play, it's about having very talented forwards. More so, like to an extent, more so than the 1-3-3-1 does, but uses forwards differently. I'll be talking to Matt Hawkins tomorrow, so we'll find out the offensive system that San Diego is using.
You hear all about from his perspective.
No.
Excellent. Anyone else have anything to last comments on this match that none of us actually watched?
Silence.
Right. Silence is deafening. All right. Well, it's moving on.
So, Victor, you were deployed to Garlic Park. What did you see?
No garlic, and it did not smell like garlic. I'll tell you
vampires?
that. No vampires. Definitely not.
Well, it's one or the other. There's either garlic or there's vampires. So which
Usually
is it?
vampires are in Manhattan, and I was in the Bronx, so I was okay. No, but in all honesty, guys, I was up in Gaelic Park. That's right, and checking out the Rugby United New York match against Boston Mystics. If you're only listening to this, give yourself a chance. Go to YouTube again at Earful of Dirt podcast. Check out this episode because I'm right now sporting the Rugby United New York cap. And for those of you that are looking at it, yes, I did lift the mark right there because I'm really lazy like that. I'm also ghetto, so I'm just gonna leave that there. So no worries.
In about 8 months, they'll be vintage.
Yeah, well, there we go. We'll be vintage. Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Might as well keep it there.
In 20 years, your children will say, "Daddy, what is that weird logo? What does that mean?" It's like, well, let me tell you a story.
The story about how my life turned upside down. Dude, I don't know I don't know the First Prince song completely. But anyways, in all seriousness. So again, the game was in the Bronx, up in Gaelic Park, which belongs to Manhattan College, and is located in the Riverdale neighborhood of the Bronx, which was predominantly Irish. It's not anymore. No, well, not as much as it used to because Dominicans. I'm sorry, Irish people.
They're Irish too, man.
I apologize
have you not seen the Dominican Irish in the DR? Come on now.
I haven't seen one yet. I'm sure there is. I just met a Dominican Peruvian. Hey, shout outs to that guy. You know, so
but out of all the places in New York that still have like an actual Irish population, because everyone, I mean, like I'm Irish. Everyone says they're Irish for the most part, but an actual Irish population, Woodlawn is one of the few. Other than like Sunnyside or something like that.
Yeah, I think Woodlawn is more exactly. It's like, for example, Arthur Avenue, for example.
Yeah.
That's like the real Little Italy. You don't talk about Little Italy in Manhattan because there's no Italians there. You talk about Arthur Avenue, same thing.
It's also gone. I know it's Chinatown, but that's a whole other conversation about New York, which we're having tomorrow on our next podcast.
That's right. In the New York City podcast with Victor Archer, tour guide. So I got there. I got to the place. It was Gaelic Park has a very rustic look, which is very Bronx-like, I guess, which is great for rugby. I personally love it. So I got into the place. As soon as I got in, I forgot to charge my phone. Thank you. Exactly. I had no one else to blame for myself. I saw quite a number of people. Apparently, estimates are put about 2,000 were present. Food was very inexpensive and delicious, I have to say. Definitely love the Irish sausage with fresh fries. Of all things, the thing that I like the most. Bar was also really nice. Quite a lot of people there as well. As I was making my way in, I finally met in person Martin Pengelly. He is as tall as people say. Really cool guy. He came in with one of his neighbors from the place that we lives at that we established the other time when he was on the show. So he was there. I also got to meet Mr. Liam Poach finally, and he was with a friend of his, which also is named Dan. I don't know why there's so many Dans in rugby, but in any case, got to meet the two of them, had a lot of fun hanging out, had a couple of shots. Liam was like he was like drunk. He actually lost his phone. He was like smashed, bro. It's like it was like bad.
We're only talking. So he went on a rugby tour to New York City and just was.
Wow. Exactly. He was pissed, as the English would say. But in any case, The match was awesome. I had to say, definitely really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying much attention in terms of tries and anything because I was with the wife, and on top of that, a friend of
Oh, you brought
ours.
the wife.
I
Okay.
brought the wife.
The wife. Hey guys, he brought his woman for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
not only did my wife was present, I also brought one of my female friends from high school. Good thing my wife is not a jealous woman, so it was. So I was with the two of them. Because the thing is that my friend. By the way, guys, I'm just laughing because on our chat, someone just wrote pimp. I'm not a pimp. No.
I think happily married
the
part that people may not realize this, but Victor is in the studio right now, so his wife is hearing this entire thing right now, but only from him.
Exactly. She's actually sleeping just behind this. No, but in all honesty. So my friend Mercedes, shout outs to Mercedes, by the way. She's a soccer girl. Yeah, Mercedes. Yeah, if you want to pronounce the Spanish way. So she's a soccer girl. She loves Barcelona. So I said, you know what? There's a bunch of prima donnas. You want to see actual men? Come over here. So I brought her to the game. She really enjoyed it. She was commenting on the guy's legs as well. I don't know what it is. Women that like legs and rugby guys. I don't know what it is.
It's so about the short shorts that really.
I guess so. Yeah. Exactly. So that was that. Then after that, we went to the bar. We're catching up with Liam, and Liam was explaining the game to her and whatever. Hey, that was really fun. And also we got a chance to talk to a couple of players. I was talking to Kerr Hamilton, who really good. Also, speaking of players, Liam and I got a chance to talk to Anthony Perry. Party. Excuse me, Party. He told me he was Perry, so I got a chance to talk to him.
Henceforth, Anthony Party.
Party Perry. Whatever. I got a chance to talk to him. Shout outs to him. By the way, he actually called us out when we were talking about forwards, and we did not mention Chris Bowman. So, Aaron, I'm going to let you talk about this because I know Anthony's listening to this. So go right ahead.
That's your first mistake. That's your first mistake, Victor.
And tell Anthony why you didn't mention Chris Bowman. Tell him.
Go back and listen to the podcast. Okay. I tell you what. We say why that we're not. We said why we didn't pick Chris Bowman. So.
But verse repeating. Tell him again.
We didn't like his. I didn't like his form in the ARC. I didn't like his form over the summer. People said, well, he was nursing a leg injury. Okay, if he was nursing a leg injury and he was scrumming, then he shouldn't have been out there because that actually makes it more of a problem in the scrum. So that's my opinion.
There you go.
Anthony, let's get to the match. So
yeah, of course.
I before the match, I put in the preview on the Facebook Live that based on the score lines from Old Blue and Nyack versus Mystic and Life versus Mystic and Glendale versus Mystic in the ARP, that I felt that this team was gonna probably put a century on Mystic River, and
lo and behold,
they put a half century, and it wasn't close. So,
by the way, if you don't know the score, listeners, 50-0, and to say that the crowd was happy was an understatement, actually. And I had to mention this. And by the way, harsh language coming up. As my wife friend and I were sitting in the back of the bleachers and watching the match, whenever United would score, there were 4 gentlemen behind us. I'm blanking on the team that they were coming from, but they would shout the following. They would say, United, United, United. And then that will follow with, let's go fucking mental. Let's go fucking mental. Na, 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 na. And that was my highlight of the night. And the best part was when I turn around and I say, "Yo, guys, this is America. Let's go fucking crazy." And that that was like the best. Because like, what's this mental thing? We're not in England.
That's what they say for Man United games, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no. They say this is the U.S. We're gonna say crazy. We don't do mental here. Like that's weird.
Speaking of names, before getting back, apparently the RUNY guys call themselves the Roosters, which that's from the rugby wrap up video.
What?
That's what I'm basing off of. Yeah, at the very end, Matt McCarthy did like his own like in-person interviews and stuff, and then they were taking pictures, and then they were all shouting. And they said like, "Let's go Roosters!" And they started actually cawing like a rooster.
God, please don't.
Someone's going to take that the wrong way.
Yeah, seriously. They better not call themselves a New York Roosters.
They're hanging out with they're trying to make some deals with some French teams. Maybe they're the fighting
Roosters.
Unless you pronounce it the French way, which I don't know I forgot the word in French for rooster. So if not, it's not gonna make sense.
Rooster?
No, come on. It's definitely not that. I think it's like close to gallo, like in Spanish. I think. I don't know. Might not be pronounced that way.
Yeah. So
I always think Sydney Roosters in NRL.
So,
yes. Yeah, in NRL.
That's part of the reason why I don't want it to be Roosters.
So we saw last week how like the strength of Rugby United New York, but what about like Mystic? They showed up.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, what can I tell you? Like they would, okay, kickoff will go. They would do their meters. United will come in, turnover, or a knock on, and really, I mean, they would try to attack, and rather when they're already on the 22-meter line, rather about to cross the try line, they would either drop the ball or it will be turnover. In terms of scrums, I don't think they won a single scrum. I think they lost all scrums, and I don't even remember how many there were, but there were not that many. So that much I can tell you. Unfortunately, I didn't keep up with tries, so I don't even know who tried at what times, in all honesty. But all I know is that I had a great time. Definitely, really, really enjoyed it.
And this is I think we were talking about this like over email thread or on the Reddit or something like that, where Gaelic Park can only hold 2,000 people, and right nearby is it Fordham, their soccer field. I think that's it.
Football field.
Yeah, football field, soccer field. I think they use it for both. That can fit like 7,000 people. So I think seating wise, some people mentioned that was a better field. But I think the thing with Gaelic Park, as Victor has made it very clear, is that with the bar right there, and from what I've seen it before, I haven't actually ever been to Gaelic Park, but it feels a lot more like inclusive and more community focused, where you can go there, you can drink at the bar, you can watch the game from there if you wanted to. So I think for the first season, that makes
the bar the Pig and Whistle, or what?
No. They have their own bar within the place. So when you enter the park,
yeah, that's what I thought. I was like confused though.
Yeah. No, so just to explain it to you guys and the listeners and the viewers. So when you go inside of the place, the bar area is on your right hand side. So as soon as you go in, you're going to see the field. The bleachers will be on your left hand side. So again, the bar will be on your right. As soon as you enter, the bar is it takes about 2 rooms. So in the second room that's close to the street, that's where they have the restroom area. Then you got the restrooms outside, which are really porta potties. But again, because they have those there too. So that's pretty much the layout. Now, personally, because I've been to foreign university, they have 2 fields. So the rugby field is nice, but you can tell they really put their money in their football field, which is
they don't put their money in the rugby pitch.
Like seriously, and then Fordham is not a bad rugby program, but you could tell that the university definitely focused more on the football field than in the rugby one. So you could see a favoritism. Like for example, when I went that one time to see them play at Iona College, actually, they had announcers and everything, and the rugby field didn't even have that. So you had to look up on the scoreboard to see what was going on. And I remember when I got there, I asked one of the students, "Hey, you know the score?" and then say, "Okay, give me a second," and then he like turned around and like walked a little further, and that was where the scoreboard was because I couldn't even see it because I was on the next to the wall where the scoreboard was. So you had to move really far back to actually see it. But in the football field, you didn't have that. So again, you could see the double standard there, personally.
So did the bar go dry?
I don't think so.
Because
No.
James Kennedy is quoted as the bar will go dry.
I heard that I heard people made a very valiant effort to make sure that happened.
Hey, just bring in Wisconsin fans and it will.
There you go. Wolverines.
I mean, you can make it go dry artificially. I don't know what Gaelic Park normally stocks for, a big event, but
I mean, they mostly just do the Gaelic sports, and it's very it's like an Irish community center too, and that's basically what the bar area is. So it kind of actually has like a feel of like an old like rugby clubhouse kind of thing.
Yeah,
like thank you, Dan. It's just exactly as he said.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like a VFW or something.
But,
hey guys, sorry. Just real quick to follow up on an earlier point. I did some looking into the question on the French translation. As far as the rooster, the word you're looking for is cock.
Oh.
Cock.
COAKQS, I think.
No, that'd be quacks.
that's cool, man.
So we're checking because I think it's COQS. I think.
That would be cool.
No, that actually is it. I thought you just wanted to say that.
No. I'm serious. That is the spelling. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your evening.
Important topics. I was wondering why his face showed up again. But,
yeah, but that's
I wasn't expecting the long-winded explanation. I just thought he was going to pop in, say it, and leave.
what are we talking about again? Rugby or something?
Yes. So guys, I'm done with that. You want to jump to the NOLA Houston?
Well, hold on. They need a generator there because nobody tweeted after halftime.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's phone died.
Or maybe
or
their
they
phones
lost
didn't
like
die.
Liam.
Or they got stuck in the bar. So
exactly. Or they lost like their phone like Liam, like I said.
Yeah.
Or your phone went dead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I need to change this one. That's what it is.
And then I think did you run into Coach Ski Bailey?
Oh, so I'm glad you actually mentioned him. Yeah, shout outs to Ski. I saw him. Yeah, so he tells me, "Oh, tell Victor to look for me." And I'm on when the game is over and screaming because I thought it was Sky. It was actually from Ski. So I'm like, Sky Bailey. And he turns around and waves at me and says, "Stay there. I'll go for you." So I'm walking downstairs and then I lost him. I said, "Wait a minute, where's this guy?" So
you just showed up and just started shouting his name.
Yeah,
Sky
exactly.
Bailey!
Sky Bailey. And then he turned around.
For anyone
actually,
unaware, he actually, I mean, it's over now, so it's too late. But he actually had live stream of the game as much as possible.
He saved it as a moment.
You can actually save it. Oh, okay. So
exactly.
But I think on Mystic, at least the second half, someone was Facebook living the darn thing. So I haven't. I should probably go back and watch it, but
that's too much work.
Exactly.
I mean, you're not going to miss much. I mean, you're getting 50-0. I mean, what else is there to talk about? They got destroyed.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed it, but I know there's going to be rugby next year. Now I can make it to that, so I'm not too upset.
We'll see how it goes next week.
So, all right, moving on to New Orleans, Houston. The first game at Shaw Field, which for those that didn't know, was built by the New Orleans Gold in a private partnership with Archbishop Shaw High School and the diocese. New Orleans Gold gets a home pitch for a couple of years, and Shaw High School is the only Catholic school in New Orleans with their own home field. Everyone else has to travel for their own home field, so that's kind of cool.
Not know that. It's definitely not the case with Catholic schools up here. No.
So.
Yeah.
Besides a quick surge from New Orleans at the beginning of the quarter, the first quarter was all SaberCats. For a moment, I thought it would be a blowout. Zach Pangilinan hit a penalty at 7 minutes, and then Pago Haney would score a try off a lovely pass from Robert Meeson, who had taken the ball from Osea Kalinisau and just went 20 meters, locks lumbering down the pitch.
He runs like a gazelle, and I mean that because just like the length of his legs, it's just kind of graceful seeing him run. It's fast, but it also looks slow at the same time.
Yeah. And then it's like Zach did not convert after that try, so it was 8-0. But 10 minutes later, they'd go up. Malachi Esdale would catch a pass and would just turn on the afterburners, hitting like fourth gear. He's got more in there. Like, oof.
Is that
he's burned.
I'm sorry.
I
was saying that was the that was like a turnover, wasn't it? NOLA actually had it like past the 22.
Yeah,
they were almost to the 5.
Yeah, they were really close.
They just got the ball and just broke through, and there was no one that could catch him. It was pretty lovely, based on how that went. And then Zach converted that try because it was right under the posts, so there was no wind to mess with the angle.
But the refs didn't call it.
Yeah. Well, the ARs were kafilka fishing or something.
Yeah, confused the hell out of me. So it said they had 13, but they had 15.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they fixed that until...
It wasn't until halftime that it got fixed. So
yeah.
And then NOLA surges. Their defense tightens up after giving the ball back on the kickoff to Houston. They turn the ball over and they push deep and earn a penalty. So instead of kicking to touch to try and take the line out, Taylor Howden elected to kick. He did pretty well with the boot on the day, which makes me wonder why Stapleton was kicking the previous match against the Raptors. But Howden kicks solid, brings the score 13-3.
In the win too.
Yeah. And
it was a really windy day.
6 minutes later, they earn another penalty, and he kicks. It's 13-6. They keep going, and there was this. Josh, how many phases did you count in this one?
For which one?
JP Elof's try.
I want to say at least 20.
Yeah, I counted 20 phases. Like, they were committed. And there was no errors. Like, they did not commit a penalty. Like, you run 20 phases, you're probably, for the most part, you're going to commit a penalty. And
they were running, like, a lot of really simple, like, crash ball or just A ball or whatever it's called.
I don't know. I need to know what the signals are, and I'll probably, like, talk to – I mean, I'm sure Nate's not going to tell me their words, but they have signals because they were shifting through different systems. It wasn't just crash ball. They were shifting between the 1-3-3-1 and the 2-4-2 at the same side based on something that Howden and Younger saw. So you'd see pods shift between 4, 2, and 3 at the same time. It was kind of impressive.
Didn't see that much. I just meant that they didn't commit too many errors because a lot of times it was kind of like crash ball, so it was relatively simple and I guess safer and harder to really mess up. So I think that added to why there were like 20 phases.
So that was pretty intense knowing that. And they go into the half and they come out and they're, unlike the previous week, that they're full of confidence because they just scored and they held on defense the next 6 minutes. And really quickly, Holden Younger picks up a ball from – this one was kind of funny. What was it? So there was a penalty, free kick, Colm goes down the field and gets the ball. he's tackled by one dude, and no one's there. No one's there for NOLA either, except the guy who tackled him. Yeah, we're in the second half. Yeah. For those that want to know,
I'm completely lost. I didn't watch the second half, so I'm hearing all this. I'm like, this
so
doesn't sound familiar.
So at minute 42, Holden Younger grabs the ball up after Sebastian Calm is tackled and puts it right under the post. And NOLA is up for the only time against the SaberCats in, like, at this point, between two matches. So they're up 15-20. And, you're thinking, this is going to get strange because with the way the SaberCats were playing. And yet they bounced back really quick. They turned the ball over after the restart. And, Connor Mills scores a try off an offload from Sam Windsor. And, it's 20-20. And then the SaberCats sort of start to take over. What else did you see, Josh, until, until we see Mops come in?
There was actually a great try all the way from Fiji. I think it was Connor Murphy from Fiji.
Yeah.
All the way from Fiji. Connor Murphy box kick. We're just going to start. We're going to rotate between Connor quick tap Murphy and Connor box kick Murphy.
I thought it was a high kick from Windsor.
It may have been. It was one of the two. I don't remember.
This one I had Windsor kicking a high ball.
All right, it was one of the two. So, so after the high ball that NOLA couldn't gather, it fell into the hands of Osei Kalinisau. Great hands.
That was great though. It was like two NOLA defenders jumped up and hit each other.
Yeah, it literally went right through their hands. And never doubt the capacity for sharing from a Fijian player. Osei Kalinisau was wide open to the try line and gave it up to Joshua Vici for his try. That was nice.
So nice of them.
Yeah.
They do that a lot too. I saw a couple Instagram stories from Houston before, and there was a very easy try, and there were still defenders coming, but yet they wanted to give it to someone else.
So Kalinisau is a distributor, period. Oh, yeah. But he can score from pretty much anywhere. He's got the pace, but it's kind of intense to when he's got someone with him. When he's got someone keeping pace with him, defenders they're not going to be able to stop that, which we saw here again.
Well, it was funny is that it wasn't even him just trying to get an offload. It was Kalinisau and Vici going to the try line, and Kalinisau just gave it up.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. So Connor Mills added his second try off an intercept from NOLA. And then Timmy Maupin comes in and almost does the same exact thing for NOLA.
Bang.
And Sebastian Calm will continues his workforce efforts. I apologize. Tim Maupin shows his face again, makes a nice line break, and offloads to Sebastian Calm for about a 50-meter try. And I will say that whoever was the last defender really didn't make an attempt at that tackle. And then, that tied it up. And then Sam Windsor had two shots, had penalty kicks to win the game for Houston, and he went wide right both times.
Yeah, so I said this. I forget who I was talking to, but the only way to be able to deal with wind is to practice in wind. And if there was no wind to kick in Houston this weekend, you're kind of fucked, right? Because you kind of got to calibrate how you kick. And even then, if it's gusting 25 miles per hour, it's yeah. So Yeah,
that win was-
overall, I think NOLA continues to raise their level. But we the SaberCats left some points off the board.
And also, guys, it was a great way for NOLA to redeem themselves after that loss against Houston in Houston. So, I mean, they didn't win, but they didn't lose neither. So, I guess a draw, 32-32, it's not all that bad. And now with the two match series that they have with the Elite starting on Saturday, if they maintain that form, I think they can probably win against the Elite. And I think NOLA has a lot more time together than the Legion, so there's that too.
Yeah. So I mean, what are the matches? What are the matches next week?
We got Glendale and Utah on Friday,
Mhm.
and then Austin at NOLA on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
is
the
it
Glendale-
Utah? Is Utah at Glendale or is
No,
it?
it's Glendale at Utah because they're at Rio Tinto.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
That's
at
right.
Rio Tinto, and they're going to try and fill up that stadium. So that's going to
So-
be really interesting to see. I wonder if it will be streamed at all.
Well, so I'm going to steal a bit from News, Views, and Abuse. Utah announced that their local broadcast team, and if I remember correctly, let me pull it. Let me get to the Utah
KSL.
site. No, their broadcast, like who's going to do their local matches, and they said that they're going to have it on TV. Let me just make sure.
I see S fucking PN. Oh, that's right. They did announce that. It was people who do the play-by-play for BYU, correct?
Yeah.
The one guy does.
Or one guy does.
Do they both do?
I think so. Yeah. They're not strangers to good old rugby and calling stuff for BYU. So
That's good.
Well, the one guy does pretty much everything for BYU. He's their on BYU TV. He's their host, reporter, and producer. Most notably for BYU Sports Nation, BYU men's volleyball play-by-play for the past 10 seasons, and he does the BYU pregame show, and that's Jerome Jordan.
Nice.
awesome.
So are they going to be streaming this for the match?
I don't know. The line at the end says Jordan and Linehan, who is apologize, let me find his full name, is Johnny Linehan. Will call Warriors local and regional broadcast games on March 30th versus Glendale, April 6th versus Ontario, April 20th versus Edmonton, May 5th versus Glendale, and June 23rd versus Houston.
Okay. So they'll definitely at least do a radio thing, but they will be called in some capacity. Because, I mean, if you're playing at that stadium, I know it's unlikely for it to be filled up, even if they give away tons of free tickets, which they are actually giving away at least 500 for members of, and I wish I wrote this down. Silicon Slopes, which is one of their partners, which I think is awesome. I think the first 500 to respond get free tickets, and everyone after that who is a member of Silicon Slopes gets half off tickets for this. During the Utah press media day, everything like that. That's actually one thing that Kimball said. Kimball Kajar? Care. Okay, so thank you. That makes it so much easier for me. Kimball Care said that like his big goal is to fill up the stadium because this is an opportunity. They're playing at Rio Tinto for 2 matches. They don't want it to be, like a Pro 14 South African game, basically. So yeah.
Fun,
yeah. Is that all we got from the 3 matches? I feel like that went by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
and then of course
54 minutes, man.
Yeah. and then RUNY plays the Mystics in Boston, but
Is that coming up this weekend?
They're just playing Boston Mystic River. It's some branding. Yeah.
That's right.
They're all sipped under Mystic River, and if Mystic River is going to try and become the RUNY of the Northeast, they're going to have to. I mean, I really don't care, but Boston Mystics sounds like, it sounds like the Washington Mystics, not a seagull.
Yeah. Definitely not. Actually, and speaking of that, speaking of which, the jerseys that they were wearing were Mystic River jerseys.
So it was just like a marketing thing, like UBC Old Boys Ravens. So.
Exactly. It's just very much what happened with Chicago Lions, that they had their players will also have players from the Griffins, like for example, Anderson NOLA when he was with them.
Yeah.
So.
But they had to put Boston there, because if it's just Mystic River, then it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
so
no one knows.
Like, exactly.
Only rugby heads know Mystic River.
Would know that exactly.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if they become an MLR team and they do like a RUNY thing, that could be Rugby United Boston. It could be Rub.
Hell no.
Yeah. Hopefully not. It's just Boston RFC. Hopefully.
United Boston.
I guess some dry
Rub.
Nah, hopefully it's just Boston RFC. So, anyways, let's continue, guys. Next point.
We got some more stuff to talk about.
So we've the tweet of the week, man.
Oh, the tweet of the week. This is some shameless self-promotion here. So the South Africa Rugby magazine tweeted something that there was an article that was written for them by some people. It says, feature everything you need to know about America's Major League Rugby, which kicks off in April at USMLR at USA Rugby. MLR could be game changer for USA is the title. It's written by Juice Fraudland, whatever it is. Josh. Sorry. So Josh Fredland, our Josh, he's right here. Wave to him. Wave back. We were I guess all approached, but Josh specifically wrote out this article for South Africa Rugby magazine, just saying
collaborative process.
Collaborative. I actually forgot to look it over, and it was in Miami, so that's my own fault. So don't count me in that. But Josh mostly wrote this, took care of a lot of the things. We all chipped in when we could. Just the South Africans, they wanted to know, what the hell this is. And they also wanted to know how many South Africans there were who were involved in the league. And there are at least a decent amount, maybe 5 to 10, either players or coaches or owners or something along those lines. So definitely check it out. It is a lot of the basics, but it does go over this South African connection. The thread, however, so this was a reply to South Africa's tweet. Someone says there's strong local content marketing is absolutely crucial for USMLR's success. If local franchises can both rally their rugby communities and educate new fans, the league will be successful. Someone else responds, no, it won't. It will be like pro rugby. People will end up watching rugby league instead of union. And someone responds to that like they do now. And the little crying faces. Crying faces emoji. So, yeah, there's...
Like I say, there's like 5 rugby league players in this country and 10 fans. But seriously, there's 12 rugby league clubs / teams. I don't think they're really clubs based on.
I thought there were 13.
But there are 13? 13?
I think it's 13.
There's 12 plus the Chicago Stockyarders or whatever the name is.
Yeah. So there's 13, right? And I think I went over this a couple podcasts ago. But so Australian football has over 50 men's clubs and I think 15 women's clubs in this country. So if anything, Australian rules football is the next best code of egg chasing, not league in this country.
Which is really funny when you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, not to just continually bash on league, but we will if you say that people will not watch Union so they can watch league instead, which is
Not the
definitely
case.
not the
So,
case now in the U.S. at least.
Oh, well.
So that's our tweet of the week, and we got some trending topics now. Whose job is it to read the trending topics?
That's Josh's. Why are you
It's Josh's
inserting stuff in here?
I don't know.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Dan.
I have opinions.
Because Dan wants to talk. Dan. All
All
right.
right.
I'm going to go in reverse order so Dan can talk. So, James Bay lost to the UBC Old Boys 91-0. There's now a Seawolves specific podcast, the Seawolf Pod. Find them on Twitter. So, well, how media day how did media days go?
What was that?
So
Me losing my train of thought.
they're still going. There's 2 this week. Two. Yeah. So
One right now.
there's one going on right now, or it might
That's
have
right.
just
Houston's right now.
might be over. But Houston had a media day and fan experience. Grant Cole, you had Seth Payne, and I forget another guy.
Dan Payne was there too.
Oh, DP was out there. Yeah,
Was
hanging
he?
out.
No, that was Seth Payne.
His
But
brother.
They tagged Dan Payne in their Instagram story.
They tagged him because it's his brother, and he had a microphone. Yeah.
So Seth Payne was a former Houston Texans player, and he has his own radio show in Houston. So that's big. Get him out there. Open practice for the media and fans to watch at Dyer Stadium. So that was cool. Glendale pushed a ton of media stuff on their media day, and there will be a media experience at their home opener that is extra nice.
They also have a virtual press room too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like the whole setup was pretty
So
dope.
there's actual information you can find out online, which is 10 times more than I think USA Rugby has ever done.
And there are a few more members still on the roster.
Oh yeah, so they added like 4 players.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Utah had theirs, which we just mentioned. That was actually a really good setup, and I think that was at Rio Tinto, wasn't it?
That was at Rio Tinto. They
Really
they
cool.
had 3? It's like 2 executives, a coach. They had the chief revenue officer of MLR there. He talked about how they're coming up on the anniversary of their business plan. So.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but I didn't actually watch it. But someone made a comment that he said next year the final is going to be on regular CBS. Did he say that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I need to find this. I feel like an idiot.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's possible. Because why not, right? Especially when you expand to 12 teams.
Yeah, 12 or so teams.
So,
yeah, I can't even find it. Yeah.
But
those are the media days.
then there was this one's sort of kind of weird. Dan, you saw this today.
Are you telling me to speak, or are you just saying that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's your diatribe.
It's not really a diatribe, but whatever. So Sam Ruching signed with Rugby Viadana in the National Championship of Excellence, which is the I guess the second highest level in Italy. I guess highest outside of the Pro 1400. However many people are actually in that. So that's really interesting because I don't know much about them, but I know the Italian league is not really the best. From some people who've actually watched it, they said that it would probably be a little bit below MLR, to be honest. It's great for Sam that he signed with the team, especially because it's European. It would have been nicer if he was with like a French club or like Pro D2, which I think was his ultimate goal to go out there to really play for. But there is actually, Digidus did say in this too that, actually, where is this quote if I'm finding this? So it says, until he joins Viadana in 1970, we are working on options for Som to prepare for the next season. No decision has been made yet, but we are considering some leads both in the United States and Europe, says Pierre-Olivier Carlet, who's the president of Digidus.
Olivier
Carl.
Yeah, so.
But that's interesting.
Congrats to Psalm. I don't know.
Right,
The Excellenza League is still semi-pro though.
Yeah.
Because when Nick Savetta went over there, he had to work as an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that one out there.
Yeah.
That's
and
exactly
Nick Savetta also played at Viadana as well.
Oh.
So
that's right.
But Victor, I think you pointed this out before. It was his fiance actually plays softball professionally in Italy.
Yeah, she has exactly for 3 years now, I think.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes, exactly.
It's her third year, I think.
So
this was a lot easier, obviously, for him.
Yeah, it sounds like he wanted to play in Europe. It's not the absolute best league, but it could have some better connections to getting into playing with other European clubs for next year. But also, he gets to actually be with his fiance. The two cities are only 2 hours apart, so they could theoretically live together. So good for him. It's great. You get to actually live with your family and play rugby. So that's awesome.
Hopefully, he's good enough, and then they sign him to Zebre, because I don't think he's going to Benetton.
Oh, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
There's still a chance you can play for MLR2 this year, apparently. So we'll have to wait and see.
Or next.
Aaron rolls his eyes.
So
we don't have that much time to talk.
Because I mean, the league starts in September, so obviously he has time.
Well, so the next season for Excellenza starts in September. Well, we've got 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks for MLR. If he's gonna play, he needs to be in camp yesterday. So, and he has been in Hawaii for 2 weeks. So, I mean, there are other guys. There are other guys from the ARC squad that went back to their amateur clubs and started games last week. Brendan Daly, not even last week, 2 weeks ago. Brendan Daly and Hulu Hala Mongaloa started games 2 weeks ago, the week after the ARC. So, I mean, he hasn't gone back to Saracen since. So, I don't know. Gotta go train and play rugby.
I'd give him some time off.
If only he could get a medical joker contract, that would be great. But I don't know if any teams have any medical jokers right now.
So, moving on to views, news, and abuse, the big one. ESPN will be streaming on ESPN Plus. According to James Kennedy in an interview with Off the Ball, it's going to be on the free air side. So if you just have an internet connection, you should be able to watch this stuff. I don't know if that's correct or not, because ESPN is relaunching their streaming service from Watch ESPN to ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus will have subscription and non-subscription content. So hopefully it's on the non-subscription content, because that would, that puts it in every household in America.
Yeah, but this is awesome because we already had it on CBS Sports for the game of the week, and we were waiting to hear from the second tier. To be perfectly honest, I was expecting it to be something smaller. Just making sure the CBS Sports was the first one and the main one, and then just whatever else can just show free or something like that. But this is awesome that all the matches, or I think 31 out of the 33 matches, I forget what the number is.
There's 33. So it's only 2 matches that don't get shown.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe the championship, they don't show that. No, they're showing the championship. but it's on CBS Sports and ESPN, both very recognizable names. So you go to your friend and you say, you should check out this thing. It's called Major League Rugby. And you say, oh, well, where can I watch it? Well, you can watch it on CBS Sports. You go, oh, well, I don't know if I have that. Well, ESPN. And if they don't have that, then I don't really know what else to tell you. They're just, they have no cable, no anything, and they don't really plan on watching sports anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. Quickly, what ESPN stands for?
Entertainment Sports Production Network.
No, Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Close enough.
You lose. Good day.
GG. That was GG.
Actually, it feels like it's been weeks.
Oh, hey. Oh, it's coming in hot. Hey, everyone. Utah versus Glendale will be streamed live on their YouTube channel.
Ooh. That's very nice. I guess that answers that question.
Hallelujah. In Utah's obviously network.
Yeah, so good to go.
Wow.
Oh, subscribe.
Did they just announce that, or?
I just asked the CMO, so.
Just casually.
When you know people.
Shout out to Ishmael Tilialo. He listens to the show. Big fan. Thanks, man. So.
Thank you for the scoop.
So that is a great deal. Even if they don't fill, I mean, it will be tough to fill 20,000 people, but hopefully you can get as many people as possible in there. That'd be awesome to be able to show that, because you get so many better camera angles from being in a full-size stadium like that, that it's just going to look really cool and cool.
By the way, guys, just to let you know, subscribe to Utah Warriors TV. That is the name of the channel on YouTube again. Utah Warriors TV. Also
subscribe to Earful of Dirt podcast.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. They're also going to do something.
All right. So questions from Bob. Oh, wait, no. Stand by. I messed that one up. There was another one. So we talked about the Utah announcement team, but then this one. So USA Rugby launched the restructure of the American rugby model. Really, this more or less only pertains to all U23 and the pathway to the Eagles. So, youth, high school rugby, college rugby, and MLR. It basically gives you a pathway for a season and a model to build off of if you are trying to, make it to the Eagles. It's pretty awesome, actually, and it's the first USA Rugby thing that has the MLR logo on it.
Not sanctioned.
Wasn't this Dan Payne's ultimate goal was to align everything?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is.
He's going to go down as a very successful CEO of USA Rugby for many reasons. Yeah, I remember his Facebook Live from the first 2 or 3 months when he took office.
Oh yeah, the pyramid.
Yeah, so he showed the pyramid and then he flipped it and said, "This is what it currently is. This is where it should be." So that was part of it, and that is part of the strategy. It's good to see an actual alignment of the schedules. I didn't look too much into it because I was at work. Now I'm here. But it does look like it's actually making a clear calendar and a clear schedule for if you're this age, you can play here, or you can these tournaments, or what you can play in. And then for college, it has the same thing. So it's just really making it so that there's consistency, because there hasn't really been consistency before. And there's also been, most people don't know unless their coaches tell them what's coming up in a week or 2 days. So yeah.
So that was dope. And the final thing before we get out of here is questions from Bob.
Yeah. Hey guys, back again.
Welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Anything else you want to say? Any other translations you want to shout out, or no?
No. I'm gonna be working on my Spanish language skills for next week. So
for the next
Victor and I have some stuff to talk about. So
muy bien.
See. K. And other letters. So we only have one question, and it's from the OG himself, Bob B. Boberson. But it is a doozy. So this is a thinker. This is a thinker, guys. So put on your thinking rugby caps and let's go at this. He would like to know, since team rosters are out now, what holes does each team have?
San Diego's entire front row or entire forward pack.
Seriously.
So San Diego has 2 8-men playing lock, both 4 and 5. That's a question. Tight head prop question. Gil Covey took a yellow card also for illegal scrummaging. So, but Gil Covey, to my knowledge, scrummed all right. The 19-year-old prop for San Diego, who could be full of promise. Just he was not scrumming well. And he was going up against Tim Fitzgerald, a man. So, yeah. And that's those are the people who that kid's gonna face in the league this year. So it's either gonna have to grow a lot, or he's the kind of guy. He's like an academy guy. So,
well, do anybody else have any thoughts on that one? Because I want to kind of flip it, if not, and just say, who do you think then has the most well-defined, well-balanced team in the league right now?
Well, say what you want. Or say what we just said for San Diego, and just reverse it for Seawolves, where they have like every single prop that is playing in USA or Canadian rugby.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
that's all I have about that much.
So locks and props are the currency of international rugby, and those are 2 things as a player pool we're sort of very thin on. Like locks for the Eagles, I think we're pretty much set, but after those 6, it's pretty until Charlie Hewitt is USA qualified.
2 more years.
What about Justin Allen?
Justin Allen, I think
also USA.
I mean, he's USA qualified. I think he's got some growing to do, but I think a year under Fitzy and he'll be ready to go and make an impact. So I think
isn't he already like 6'6"?
Rugby skill wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mental growing.
So I mean, he'll I think after this World Cup, we'll probably see him in an Eagles shirt. So
that'd be sick. That'd be awesome. Yeah, well, I guess the real answer to your question then, Corey, would be I think Glendale has the most depth, consistently best players, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, because it's been around for longer, though.
The issue with Glendale is how thin that roster was to begin with. Whereas over time, we've seen trialists and players for Houston. I think Houston's going to have a squad that's about 40 people. And I think they've built the depth. Now, we'll see how they fare against Glendale. And I think they're going to, if they put it all together, I think they could give them a match, So,
well, I remember Will McGee came out and said that they're going to sign a few players here soon.
Was it more than the players they added?
I hope not. But you also have to remember that Glendale has this whole system set up. They do have their amateur side. They have the Georgian prop still. He's playing on their amateur side. So if they ever need to call him up, he's there.
Yeah. So, that's.
We won't get to see that match until June 9th?
Yep.
I'll be there.
I thought you were on vacation.
Leaving the next day.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So
Nice.
You get to see that. You get to watch the to be confirmed test match
Oh,
then 2
I'm
weeks
missing
later,
that.
Missing that.
Oh, you're missing that?
Well, I mean,
So
we're playing.
the Glendale Houston match is on a Friday, so we're leaving that Saturday.
Yeah. Well, if it's Russia, I'm here in Russia for some reason. If it's Russia, yeah.
Hey, let's just throw it out there and say Spain.
That'd be
Oh
nice.
yeah, that's how much time do we have? That's a whole.
Another kind of worms.
It was a genuine question. There's a whole new layer to this Belgium Spain.
Just stay tuned for the Rugby Conspiracy podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say, all I was going to say is if we are playing Spain, we better make damn sure all of our players are actually qualified. Because if not, they will figure it out.
Exactly.
No. Russia will figure it out.
No,
Russia will figure it out.
No. Brazil will figure it out.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh almighty. And then Brazil would tell us like months after it happened.
Yeah, something like that. For everyone at home, just look into it. Real simple thing is that possibly Belgium and Romania both had ineligible players, and we don't know which games that would affect. And depending on what World Rugby decides to do with it, if they decide to discount only specific games, then Russia wins, Europe won. But if they disqualify Romania from all of them, then Spain wins. So look it up. It's just a lot more stuff. And if you can speak Spanish, definitely go to Twitter or Facebook and see a lot of very angry Spaniards.
America's Rugby News also has a great breakdown.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's probably the best one to really look at.
And not only that, guys, also, speaking of Spanish, if you get a chance, please listen to the interview by El Show de Rugby, which is a show from Uruguay. And they did an interview to Pablo Lemoyne, now coach of Germany, that used to be the coach of Uruguay. And he's really the guy that opened Pandora's box when it came to Belgium's player that was apparently not eligible. For enough, his name is Victor Paquet. Whose great grandmother was the one who was Belgium, but he was raised in France.
It's not hard it's not hard to know the lineage rule. It's grandparent.
Not great grandparents.
Spelled out.
Your grandfather then. You're not great grandfather then.
Exactly right.
Also, I saw this when I was in the middle of the show. The official Spain rugby Twitter account tweeted. This is the translation, obviously. One of three. Faka Osile did not tell the Romanians who had played for Tonga Sevens. Romanians did not realize that this participation was binding, or World Rugby was wrong to let him play with Romania. Via America's Rugby News at hashtag Justice for Rugby Values. And that's the official Spanish Twitter account. They're not very happy about this, as you can see.
I am impressed with the consistent level of indignance the Spanish Rugby Union is displaying in this fight. It's a bit hilarious. So for those not following, when we were on the last show, we mentioned it in trending topics. It was Refgate. Either a day later or 2 days later, it was the Germans going after Belgium for fielding an ineligible player. And then this morning, I read through like 8 pages of crap to like trying to get what was going on. And then Romania fields like a former Tongan Sevens player in their 15 side.
Yeah.
So it's like, so this is what I put it. It's like, so Spain's going to get banned for touching the ref. Belgium's going to get banned for fielding an ineligible player. Romania is going to get banned for fielding an ineligible player. The Russians are going to get banned for doping. So that leaves
Germany.
That leaves Germany.
They'll lose to Portugal.
No, because Germany would automatically qualify because everyone else is banned, as Europe 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So Portugal would automatically qualify for the repechage.
No. They automatically qualify for the playoff against Samoa.
That's right.
Which
Yeah.
means they would go to repechage eventually.
Yeah, they would go to repechage because they ain't beating Samoa. But
Yeah.
Okay, so who's putting together this in a flow chart?
it's already been done and it looks ugly as shit.
Yeah, don't look. It's
Okay, so guys, just to let you know real quick, I'm in the España Rugby Twitter page, and 7 hours ago they put this tweet saying that Rugby Europe postponed to Thursday their decision
To
proclaim the whole thing with Spain repeating the game with Belgium, or the whole thing that Belgium
that's just Spain. That's just the Spain thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I read that. So they submitted their previous decision to World Rugby, and that's what was in a press release on Friday. Like, we've met, we came up with some findings, and we've submitted it to World Rugby, and we're telling you in a way to be transparent, I guess. And then I guess they've requested more information.
I can just see whoever has to actually deal with this to like be just sitting there on their laptop like, okay, I think we just about got this. And then the news comes in about the Belgian and then the Romanian players, and they're just going, why is this all happening to me? And I think the Portugal versus Romania or Spain or Germany or Russia game is happening in like a week. I think it's like April 4th or something. So they need to figure this out before then or postpone that match.
Yeah.
With all that being said, anybody else want to call it a night?
Yeah, let's get out of here, Victor.
Yeah.
Take us home.
Yeah, guys, because I have to work now. So,
Play it again.
Exactly right. So, guys, first of all, thank you all for joining us for episode 29 of the Earful of Dirt MLR podcast, or Rugby podcast, whatever. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Earful of Dirt podcast. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Again, at Earful of Dirt on all 3 social media accounts. Check out our website, of course, earfulofdirt.com. And most importantly, make sure to add us to your podcast feed, whether on iTunes, Acast, Google Play, Stitcher, and Player FM. Make sure, of course, to leave us a review on either one. If not all of them, that would be appreciated as well. Thank you. And, of course, make sure to call us on our phone number, which is 1-720-600-2679. Again, that's 1-720-600-2679. And again, leave us a voicemail. Keep in mind that we do the broadcasting, or the live broadcast, at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So with all of that said, everyone, have a great night. Once again, my name is Victor. Again, those were my co-hosts, Josh, Aaron, Daniel, and Corey. Best for last, Corey. That's why I put your last, brother. And we'll see you guys next week. Buenas noches.
Matt Hawkins, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Be on
Yes. Oh, yes. Almost forgot about the Matt Hawkins. Make sure to be there. Buenas noches.